Okay, well, it is day 10, and update on the foot. I wore the walking cast yesterday. It made it feel a lot better, especially when I was sitting around and, kept it immobilized. I was up and walking around with it with the walking cast on it. It still hurt. But the thing I noticed that, we went to the store last night and I took the cast off, and oh my God, it hurt even worse. So, there's a major issue here. And I think I'm just going to try and wear the walking cast for a couple of days and see if that gets better, because at least I can get in the dojo and lift some weights and get some things going on with the walking cast on. Although, it's very clumsy and I don't know if you ever wore a walking cast. One thing I'm worried about the walking cast is the difference between the cast and the other foot and getting my hips out of whack. But the major thing that is going on today, and especially last night, is I'm freezing. I am so cold. It was 6 degrees in Oklahoma when I got up this morning to take the dog out. And then I went and looked to see how cold it was in Anchorage, Alaska, and it was 30 degrees. So this is getting ridiculous. It is getting more and more hard to stay on the juice cleanse. I might break down. I almost broke down last night because we had bought some Amy's organic, all vegan soups, vegetable soups, and I almost did it last night. I was like, no, I'm gonna hang on, but I may not make it through the day. I may have to have something warm. The teas and things like that are just not helping. The ginger, lemon, honey teas are not helping. It's like my backside is just freezing, like from my middle of my back down is just cold. I can stand in front of the heater and I still am just cold. It's just a difficult time to be trying to do a juice cleanse. It's just, and I could just go ahead and eat some raw foods, but again, you're cold when you eat raw foods. That's been my personal experience when I eat raw foods. So I might go ahead and just eat some soup and keep it plant-based. Somebody asked me a paleo question the other day, and I was like, I'm not paleo. I'm doing this plant-based. I'm not eating any meat. It's okay if you're doing paleo. Nothing against that. I've moved past that militant vegan Nazi thinking that I used to have, but you got to find what works for you, and that's the whole mission of this Plant Strong challenge that I'm doing, is finding what works best for me by using a plant-based diet, be it cooking, vegan or raw food or juices or a combination of them all. So I want to find that balance that works for me. One thing that I was curious about and that I wanted to know is, a lot of people watch a lot of different people. I don't want to drop any names or anything here. One I'm going to have to specifically drop, but people watch these gurus, and it's like, do you watch the guru because of their message, the way they eat? Are you trying to emulate them or stay like them? And a lot of juicing people that take on juice cleanses are because of Joe Cros. And I saw Joe Cros on Piers Morgan the other night, and he was talking about what he does now. And he says he's 40% vegetables, which is juicing or raw foods. He said he's 30% meat, and the other 30% is processed foods. And I was like, processed? Like out of a box? It's like, are you kidding me, Joe? Because, I tried that crap and I put the weight on. So it's like, he's not even vegan, but yet all these people follow him. So, does it really matter to you that the people you follow are vegan or not? To me, there's a specific juicer out there. I'm sure everybody's seen him. But, I'm talking about Drew Canole. But to me, I'm looking at him and looking at his body, and I'm thinking, that's not a body designed from juicing. Because I tried it for a year. I tried to get there in a year. And, I investigated and looked at his Facebook page, and I'm not trying to judge anything. I'm just pointing out obvious stuff. Obviously, he's not a vegan. Obviously, he's not a raw foodist, because he's never been nominated for the Raw Food Awards. but he's got paleo-looking salads on his Facebook page. And I'm just like, okay, but you're preaching fruits and vegetables, but you're not vegan. And I have personally asked on some of his videos, are you vegan? And never gotten a response back. So it's like, I'm being transparent here, and I would like to be that representation of what can be done on a plant-based diet and staying away from the processed and the meat and things like that. And seeing, is it really can be done, especially somebody that's over 40. There's so many gurus out there that are younger than me and most of the people that watch me that are doing this, that, they've been doing it longer. They're younger. Their bodies are more resilient, where when we're 40, it's harder to work out, recovery time's longer, things like that. And, a lot of people may disagree with that and say, oh, it's all in your mind. Human body's human body. But, I can certainly tell the difference between the way I worked out when I was 30 versus the way I'm working out now. So, and I'm sure you can too if you're of my generation and my age. But, does it matter to you the transparency with the gurus that you're with? If someone's preaching raw, and they're eating quinoa on the sides, but they're still preaching raw, is that person really raw? So that's why I, stepped away from I'm not calling myself raw, I'm not calling myself vegan, I'm not putting myself in a box, because I want to stay in all things that are plant-based. As long as it's not processed and it's good, even though those Amy soups processed, they're organic, but I really even don't want to do those. But one thing we're trying to stay away from is some of the nightshades. So, I didn't know how else to make some chili or something without, using tomatoes and whatnot. And this one particular soup I found didn't have any tomatoes in it. So, anyway, it's just my thoughts and ramblings for day 10. I'm still going to keep counting. I just may not be juice cleansing, and I may be juice cleansing a little more because the second phase of this, I was supposed to be switching to juice and raw foods. But I may, do some intermittent fasting in there during that next phase because, the working out hadn't started. It will now with the kaboot. So, but anyways, it's day 10. Just my thoughts. I'm just curious because, hey, Joe Cros went on TV and said it. If I have to find the video and pull it up to prove that he said it, there's no reason not to believe me. He was on Piers Morgan, and that's what he said, and you're preaching a message, walk the talk, especially if you're charging people for money. I got an email from Joe's thing, $150 to do a 10-day cleanse. Wow. So, the information's out there. It's free. So, anyways, I'm Steve. Like, subscribe, give me a comment, share with me your thoughts on what you think about gurus who say one thing and do another.